Hello everybody, I'm Evan Irwin and this is The Magic Show. Today we're going to take a new approach. That's right, we're going episodic and it's going to get interesting. You ready for the first segment of today's show? Let's get this party started. In response to my last article, Sean McCune, resident number crunching genius, revealed that he doesn't have the bandwidth and or ability to watch the show. He reads the transcripts but cannot actually see the images you are seeing now or hear my voice. Of course, the Christmas show and all its infamy may be enough to drive some away. I requested he take a look at a show and tell me if it improved his opinion on it, upon which time I learned he didn't have the bandwidth at home to watch. I implore you, man, get thee to a Wi-Fi hotspot and enjoy. But seriously, are there many transcript readers out there? Would you mind taking a look and telling me what you think? The show is meant to be watched, much like cereal can be eaten dry but yearns for the cow secretions to truly make it a meal. So, yeah. Over at top8magic.com, the home of the most unnecessary Flash interface ever, we hear the following on the podcast entitled, quote, Planar Chaos Ordered Part 4. The person speaking here is Mike Flores, and there may be some others. I can't identify the other speakers, but Mike gives us the goods. Let's take a listen.
Extirpate is just Orson Welles on the radio. It's literally, it's like great against Fireman Angels. It's awesome against Golgari Grave Trolls. It's really, really good against
Billy just shed a tear.
Like, I mean, I can't imagine a better card against Martyr of Sands in Standard. But the thing is, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Extirpate extirpates its prey. Locks on Hierarch, Glare-ups, and Dual Decks are really good against Budget Boars, for example. But Julian and I played Budget Boars because by then no one was playing Locks on Hierarch in Standard anymore. We played against a total of 2 Locks on Hierarchs. Now, 2 Locks on Hierarch decks, 2 Locks on Hierarchs between 16 rounds between us. No one was playing it anymore. They were playing bad black-white beatdown decks, and our deck was awesome against bad black-white beatdown decks. I think that Extirpate is a card that's just like gonna scare people away, kill its own prey, and then no one will ever play it again. Like, when you're reading like the internet, and then there's some people who are like, Extirpate, look at how ninja this guy is, it changes everything! Oh my god, Extirpate are complete. Extirpate will no, it's gonna be in the quarter bin.
Now, while I'm not certain that dig was towards me exactly, he certainly makes a point. Every environment is about trends. That's what a metagame is, finding and exploiting trends. So with Extirpate being insanely popular right now, commanding no less than 15 bucks a pop, is this going to go the way of Infernal Tutor or Cranial Extraction? What constitutes its inclusion in decks after Dredge, Martyr, and Fireman Angels go away? I'll tell you from personal experience, getting rid of a control player's full set of compulsive researches while looking at their hand and keeping this uncounterable to boot is pretty damn good. It makes control players who love cards like compulsive research and careful consideration think twice before dumping their best cards in the bin, even if they can't cast them anytime soon. Again, the meta will shake out the winners and losers here, but just for example, Jerome Remy threw out a mono-black control list for Standard, and guess what 3 of was sitting in his sideboard? Ninja, baby. Pure ninja.
I'm not here. This isn't happening. I'm not here.
Over at Brainburst, we have a new video of Magic Online 3.0, quote, gameplay? Let's take a look at it.
Why does my heart feel so glad? Why does my soul feel so glad? Why does my heart...
Okay, alright, that's enough. I couldn't possibly be more bored with what's going on there. I don't know what it is about the Magic Online developers that they are extremely obsessed with avatars. Guess what? I don't care about avatars. I care about good gameplay. I don't want the jerky, intermittent Magic Online 2.0 interface, the ugly card images and the unaliased fonts. The fact is, avatars are a very, very small subset of the game. You can't walk around these avatars and see the games in progress, rather a few looped animations based on what's going on at the time. This is not fun. Avatars are not gameplay. Just keep repeating that to yourself. So the foremost Dredge fan, Benny Smith, who top-8'd Virginia Champs with a Dredge deck a few years ago, was back at it with a huge article that detailed several new Dredge-based archetypes. And it was cool, don't get me wrong, but he forgot one little guy. Magus of the Bazaar, the guy whose namesake is so powerful that you will always mulligan into it in Vintage, and who can do insanely unfair things with Dredge, as you'll see by playing the deck. So right now I'm going to unveil a new Dredge build based on my own playtesting and a few Dredge builds I ran into using Magic Workstation. Why do I need to use Magic Workstation? Oh yeah, because Magic Online can't get anywhere near the release of a cardboard product. Here's the list.
Where to go, I had no idea. 2016 was the price to pay. A messed up kid with no ideas at all. I thought those 2016, I shouldn't give them away.
Now a few things about this build. First, it needs some more playtesting. I've not developed a sideboard yet, but feel free to add stuff like Sudden Death for Teferi, and for Trickbind to take care of Tormod's Crypt, and decks like Goblin Combo and Dragonstorm. Call of the Herd is a recent addition that gives you a good card in your opening hand and a spell to play from your graveyard. Speaking of flashback spells, the secret tech in this deck is Trader's Clutch. Take a look at this bad boy. Not with the 5 mana cost, but rather the 2 mana flashback cost. Now that's a bargain. +1/+0 and Shadow is enough to finish off most opponents. Your Grave Trolls and Svath Ghosts are going to be massive in as little as 5 or 6 turns, and the Traders let you slip by for the win. Some of the many ways you'll win with this deck. Firstly, there's the Golgari Grave Troll beats. Then there's the Svath Ghost beats. That recurs thanks to Life from the Loam. Call of the Herd Overrun, at which point they become Elefantes. Don't forget, Call of the Herd makes Elefantes. And Trader's Clutch, of course, targets a huge creature you control, usually a Grave Troll or a Svath Ghost. Now, this deck runs a lot of acceleration with 4 Wall of Roots, 4 Birds of Paradise, and 4 Wood Elves. I'm guessing the Wood Elves may be a bit much, but they do help make sure you hit black mana for Svath Ghost, Dark Blast, and Trader's Clutch Flashback. Of course, if you get Trader's Clutch stuck in your hand, it shouldn't take long to get rid of it, with 4 Magus of the Bazaar and 4 Thought Courier helping out. Next, I'll throw out my current build of Mono Green Aggro Greater Good, which is your average 19-land MGA deck with Greater Good kicking it up a notch thanks to the lovely Mare and Groundbreaker. Might of Old Krosa gets pretty damn unfair with a Greater Good on the table, and with explosive openings such as turn 2 Groundbreaker, turn 3 Timbermare, you can get your opponent to an extremely low life total in a short amount of time. But before I go on, let's take a look at the list. The question is, how do you finish your opponent off? As I and many of my colleagues and friends have noted, Mono Green Aggro has a horrible propensity of leaving the opponent at a ridiculously low life total with no way of actually breaking through for the rest. This is the sort of thing that the Dredge deck got around with Trader's Clutch, but breaking stalemates isn't always that easy. However, resolving Greater Good in either Timbermare, Spectral Force, or Groundbreaker is usually good game in my experience. The ability to draw that many cards at once is just too much for any deck, let alone one that hopes to counter your spells and get card advantage. Greater Good's card advantage with these huge creatures overpowers every blue card draw spell in the format. This build needs work, but don't they all? Feel free to report your findings in the feedback. And that does it for another edition of the Magic Show. For those who are forced to read instead of watch this for whatever reason, my heart goes out to you. May you one day get to hear my mad mispronunciation skills, know the first time I uttered the immortal words, Captain Tickles, and now introduce you to our newest cast of characters, Lieutenant Broccolihead. Oh yeah, who's Lieutenant Broccolihead? Why, if you don't watch, you'll never know. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week.